Hey guys, Jason again with another episode of Album Review Corner. Today I'm here with my friend Bobby, Rkmloveshp.
How's it going, folks?
And today we will be reviewing the new Lorde album, Pure Heroine. Lorde is an indie pop rock artist. This is her first studio album. It was released on September 27th of 2013. Like I said, it's her debut album. I'll start out with a little bit of background information on Lorde and stuff like this. A little bit of background on Lorde. Her legal name is Ella O'Connor. She was born on November 7th of 1996 in New Zealand. Her love of really acting and singing started at a very young age, I think at age 5 if I'm not mistaken, when she followed her friend in a drama club. In 2009, while attending the Belmont School in New Zealand, Lorde and her friend Louise McDonald participated in won a talent show. After seeing the performance, Louise's McDonald's, her father, sent out a recording of Lorde singing Warwick Avenue by Duffy and Pixie Lost Mamadou. At the age of 13, Lorde was signed by an A&R scout. At the age of 14, she began working as a songwriter and as a singer then. And then her debut album, Love Club, which is my favorite album, EP of this year, I would say, was released on March 8th of 2013. One more thing here. Finally, Time Magazine placed Lorde on their list for the 16 most influential teens of 2013, which is obviously a very, very good thing to be on if you're Lorde. You have any thoughts on that?
Lorde. If you're anybody, it's a very good thing. It's very, it gets her name out there for people.
Yes, sir. Very, very nice. All right. Anything else here? Maybe a little bit more. Some general music and just genre influences for Lorde. Pure Heroine is really similar to Love Club because of its genre influences. It includes art pop, dark wave music, electronica, synth pop, and electropop. Lorde's musical influences are ranged from a variety, really. You got Etta James, Otis Redding, Cat Stevens, Neil Young, Fleetwood Mac, one of the best bands I think in history. Grimes, the band Sleigh, because of the vocals, The Weeknd and James Blake. What else? Also, the lead single Royals topped the charts in Canada, Ireland, UK, US, and allowed Lorde to become the first solo New Zealand act to summit Billboard's Hot 100 chart and the youngest to do so since Tiffany's 1986 single, I Think We're Alone Now, which is one of my favorites from back in the day, actually. And then Tennis Court and Team were released as the second and third singles off his album, shortly after its release. All right, yeah. There's a lot of information there to digest, but I figured I'd give it all. All right, you want to start us out with the track by track? First one.
Sure. Track number one is a song called Tennis Court, which is you can hear the electropop very much in this song. It starts out very kind of slow, and then it builds into the beats, and she introduces the vocals very well, and that's what introduces the song. And to me, the song, I listened to this album twice, and to me, this is basically her talking to somebody about, like, on a tennis court probably, but more so about her how she's going to juggle being famous and then being just a general teenager.
Yeah. And
how she's going to do things when she's famous compared to when she's unknown. That's basically what I figured when I heard the song and what I got from the lyrics.
Okay. All right. I had basically the same thing as you said all along there. For me, I have this track starts off the album really on a solid note. Like you said, it's very slower paced, very simple, spacey drum beat. It reminds me really of the XX, and it kind of travels throughout the song, setting the tone for me. The song, like you said, picks up speed as you kind of get towards the chorus. She's got some very descriptive vocals that I like a lot there. They're placed over a pounding synth line. The bass line is very, very nice, well placed. A lot of energy, very catchy song we have here. As far as the meaning, you hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of poetry, I think, in this, for this song. Particularly with the line, pretty soon I'll be getting on my first plane. I'll see the veins of my city like they do in space. Just a descriptiveness that's used there. And the drawn out yaz as we get to the back end of the song, very nice as well. As you said, Laura's kind of acknowledging her state as a musician and as a teen now. You know, her trying to juggle that. She acknowledges that by saying, I am only as young as the minute is. So a very, very interesting song here. Very good way to start off the album.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, ain't it?
Yes. Okay, I'll just let you start off with every track. Do you want to do a second one? Or go ahead.
400 Lux I don't know much about, but for me, like, this whole album, like you said, is very spacey, and it's very electropop influenced. And she puts the synthesizer, I can't say that damn word, synthesizer to good use, that was introduced in the 80s. And, you know, she's bringing a lot of stuff back and making good use of current technology, and with honest lyrics, I would say. So I don't know much about the song. So what is this about? I don't know.
I honestly, as far as the meaning goes, I think it's about more. I think it's just about her wanting to. It's bittersweet, you know. She wants to spend time with a loved one and not wanting to leave at the same time. You know, just I think it's about just a love interest in a way. For me, though, I must admit I really wasn't the biggest fan of this song. There's just something about it. The song it starts with a delayed synth and really bass pairing. It gives the song an overall chill vibe for me. As we see a lot on this album going forward, we'll see this. Really, the contrast between the instrumentation and vocals is very interesting. The music and the instrumentation has an upbeat feel with some oversized bass. I don't know if you noticed that. And the percussions, the drums kind of in the background there. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. It reminded the way that she or whoever put together this album reminded me of a lot of the new number 2, because they use a lot of the synthesizer, electropop, and they use a lot of the bass drum and things like that, just like she does in this album. So I think it reminded me a lot of them. So
oh yeah, and I didn't even think about it. You just mentioned that. Okay, although I would say the new number 2, really they're more electronic based, where Lorde is more pop based. And you know, I don't know. I can definitely see the comparison. A very, very interesting comparison.
Yeah, but I'm just saying her use of instruments and things is very electric, like theirs.
Oh yeah. So.
Yep.
All right, Royals number 3. This is one of your favorite songs. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah, we're chucking right along there. Yeah, Royals is one of my favorites, and I think my niece's too, because she really digs this song just as much as I, and we play it all the time. And the song is basically about how she does not appreciate or very much like all of the fancy things. She doesn't lead a fancy life, and she just states the fact that she doesn't like materialistic things, and she doesn't come from a royal type family. And although she fantasizes a lot about Cadillacs and the expensive life and the extravagance in her dreams, like the song states, but she states that she, because of the way she grew up, is not overjoyed by fanciness and all that chandeliers and fancy stuff. Yeah. Which is what the song is about. And that's that.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I have here, and I think that's exactly right. For me, I'll start with the music a little bit. This is the first single off the album. The first that I actually heard it back in March on iTunes. The song, really unlike every other track on this album, begins with some relaxed instrumentation. We kind of see that at the end of the album as well, though. The relaxed instrumentation, it seems to really go quiet, leaving the track very spacious, very airy sounding again, leaving only the occasional synth-inspired beat that really includes just a kick drum and snaps. The snaps are just there. They break through the atmosphere. I love that about this track. That's introduced later on in the album as well. Do you want to say anything about the instrumentation?
What I will say about this is that everything on this album, the way that Lorde puts it together and her production team puts it together, it fits just like she wants it to be fitting. And I think she took great care in this album because she wants it to represent a period in her life that is very monumental in anybody's life. The teenage years are very monumental, and they make you, because of the experiences that you have, they make you, in a lot of ways, who you will become. And she wants to document that in a way, and she was very careful in the way that she produced this with her team. Yeah. And she wanted to, document it the way that she saw fit, and I think it's a job well done to her.
I could definitely see that. I could definitely see where, as we'll get to that a little bit later, this album seems to be just, like you said, about a moment in her life, and just kind of rehashing it and just spotlighting her fame as, her time in this life and her time that we see right now. I think it's very interesting. We'll talk about that a little bit later in detail. All right.
Yeah.
You had the on the meaning, so we'll just go ahead to track number 4. I'll start out here, I guess. Ribs. This track really starts out to be an interesting layered opening. It seems to build up and get louder, and just before kind of fading, and as the vocals begin, that has a hammering bass line with some extremely light production, kind of very airy productions again, intermittent drum beats that are placed below the lyrics that really create a catchy vibe. That seems to flow very well. We'll talk about that a little bit as we get through this. And kind of seems to express and kind of be patterned along with the dark, depressed lyrical content of the song, which I think is nice. As far as I'll let you come in a minute here, but as far as the lyrics, I think Lorde is very smart for her age, as we've seen. But yet this album the song rather kind of lets everyone know that she's still a teenager, with references from her mom and dad. Basically, her wanting to basically say, "I want to live my life. I want to hang out with my friends again." Is with the line, "We'll laugh until our ribs get tough." I believe it was. That will never be enough. So she just wants to go back to the good old days, I think, is what this track is trying to imply. And she kind of already missing those good old days, I think, is what she's also trying to imply.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, first of all, I like songs that, and albums that look back at a time that was, to the person, simpler. And, this whole album kind of does that with certain songs, and she's kind of leading the way and leading the path, with this album. And, I think this song addresses the kind of the loneliness that a teenager feels growing up because of hitting puberty and adolescence and things, and just loneliness in general because you are grasping different emotions as you are hitting the teenage years, and you really are like, what the hell is hitting me in the face here? And then you and she addresses that, and it's about, like you say, it's very dark and depressed lyrics, and it's her addressing loneliness and the feelings that she feels when she's lonely, and whoever this person is that she's singing about, she's trying to cherish every moment, until the dream ends, basically.
Yeah.
And the loneliness returns.
Yeah, I could.
Yep.
That's definitely it. Like I said, I think she's referencing her friends there and just wanting to go back to those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? Teenage years are some of the best years of your life, I would say.
Yes. Yes.
All right, you want to start us off with track number 5 for Buzzcut season?
Yeah. Buzzcut season addresses, I think, the like a mood, like flames in someone's hair. I think represents like being madness, and and then they're coming back down to reality once they once they express their emotions and this is a very complex song, but but it's it's growing up and letting go of like that particular period in your life and moving forward. Kind of. What did you think?
I actually thought. I mean, I could definitely see that on a personal level. She's talking about kind of growing up. I think the song sees Lorde though commenting on society in general, on some of its flaws, such as maybe abandonment and feeling alone with the lyrics. I live in a hologram with you. That's one of my favorite lines on this whole album. And kind of even her thoughts on war, and her thoughts on war with the lyric explosions on TV and just trying maybe different countries and trying to put herself in different places. Third world countries unfortunately have war all the time, and I think that's kind of what she's just trying to express her thoughts about society in a very intelligent way, which I think is very nice.
Especially violence in general. I think too. That's another thing. I forgot to mention that whole part, but I think violence is very much an overused thing, and she addresses that, and like the fact that the news most times gives us negativity, and all they show is violence and reporting on murders and everything else, and that's another thing. That's another commentary that she's probably giving us in the song.
Yeah, I think to kind of go along with that, I think she's kind of telling people that violence is not glamorous. Like you said, the news, in a strange way, by saying all of this on the news especially, I mean, they're kind of, I don't want to say glamorized, it doesn't seem like the right word, but that's kind of what they're doing. They're kind of like, they're spotlighting in a way that says, okay, we're just going to talk about this for the first 15 minutes or so of the news. Locally in Chicago, that's what I've noticed a lot. That's all they talk about. But yeah, I think it's very interesting theme, and this is one of my favorite theme-wise on this whole album. For me, though, the whole song overall, I think is one of my favorites on the album, and I'm going to say that a couple times on some of these tracks. From the start, the song has a really relaxed vibe, very groovy, very dreamlike instrumentation in the opening. It travels through the song, kind of gets louder and catchier, and accompanied by the intermittent, I want to say, drum beats during the chorus. It kind of reminds me at points in this album of My Chemical Romance or a band like this. For me, the instrumentation during the chorus seems to be built around and kind of showcase Lorde's vocals and her lyrical, her writing ability.
Yeah, she's very mature for her age. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see this a couple times during the second half of this album. This is what the album does a lot. It showcases. All right, you want to do your second favorite song, Team?
Yes, I will do Team, yes. Another one of mine and my niece's favorite songs. And it's very dancey. You can definitely tell that with the as the song progresses. And to me, I think this song addresses the like the camaraderie that people feel in small towns and cities. And she kind of comments on society and how biased Hollywood is by showcasing just big towns and New York City and Los Angeles and all these glamorous towns while not paying attention to the small towns that a lot of people grow up in. And I think that that is very much addressed in the song. Like, I think there's a lyric in there that says, you'll never see our towns on screen or something like that. And, so that's that. And I think she addresses that very well. And she just talks about, togetherness, first of all, and the unity that these people in small towns, small neighborhoods feel because they live in these small neighborhoods and they grow up together and they know the neighborhood for what it is, and they live there so long that they grow to love it. And that's what that addresses. Another kind of looking back song, kind of like In My Life by the Beatles. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Yeah. I thought that's what that was about, and so on to you.
I definitely see that again. You're taking the words straight in my mouth right here. The song, I think first and foremost, I think you're right about the togetherness and whatnot. I think it also takes a stab at popular music, particularly Miley Cyrus is one person that kind of comes to mind. There's been a feud between Lorde and Miley Cyrus for about the last 6 or 7 months now. I think this kind of stab at pop music can be seen on a lyric, especially. I'm kind of over getting told to throw my hands up in the air. So there, very interesting there. Yeah. She also, to me, this song also seems to be a warning towards today's teens about like you said, the importance of personal relationships, sticking together in this high maintenance society, as explained during the chorus of the song for me. A very, very upbeat song. As far as the music, do you have anything to add before I kind of?
Yeah, I never thought about the stab at popular music, but you're probably right, and that's probably her way too of introducing this new style of the music that she intends to bring to the world of honesty and just introducing her as an artist and no holds barred, and what you see is what you get with Lorde, and everything honest about it. Kind of like she kind of reminds me of like a Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift can be very honest, but there's a difference because Taylor Swift seems to only write about relationships, where Lorde is starting out. Unlike many different artists would just say, "Oh, I'll just give you an artsy pop song, and then I'll just talk about issues later." Where Lorde's talking about issues right up front and issues that she cares about, and that's part of who she is. She cares, and she's very honest, and that's part of her. What makes her music style is that people relate to it, and the honesty, and they appreciate that. So,
yeah, I couldn't imagine. Yeah, very, very honest. Like I've said before, second half of this album, more personal. Second half of the album, as you had said, with the themes and whatnot. The honesty really sticks out to me. I think, like you said, that's why people like her. Let me see really fast here. As far as the music goes, the song is very slower paced, as we kind of said. kick drum opening that seems to drive the song. It's very groovy when it comes to that. Becomes one of the album's bangers, I want to say. The tempo changes is very nice as well. The lyrics just seem to bounce on this track. And again, there seems to be a showcase of Lorde's writing ability, her singing ability, similar to Jukebox the Ghost. Because Jukebox the Ghost, you guys are not familiar maybe, Jukebox the Ghost writes songs that are very upbeat, sounding, but yet lyrically they're very dark, very depressing. And I think that's what Lorde is trying to do. She's just trying to expand herself as an artist, as you said, trying to get her themes out there straightforward, not be one of these pop artists. A very, very good song the song is. All right.
Yeah, very good song.
Yeah. All right. One of my favorites here. I'll do number 7. I'll start us off. Glory and Gore.
Sure.
This song seems to be the most restrained on the album. It seems to reintroduce the listener to elements of the pop, of the electro pop and chill wave pop that we've seen earlier in this album with the song Royals. The song has a very slow yet spacey instrumentation that seems to build up during the main chorus, where Lorde's great vocals are again showcased with the use of light hip hop inspired synth beats and pounding drums, great backing vocals. And the first I've really noticed the backing vocals on this album was right on this track. I love those backing vocals. The second half of the album, really fast. The second half of the song, rather, it seems to close with some cool sounding solo drum beat and the vocal pairing. I like that a lot as well. Yeah, what do you think about this track?
I think it's her commenting on war and the violent nature of society, and not necessarily my love of violence, but society's love of violence with the video games we have and just the war in general, everything. And she just talks about how both sides of the issue, and where there's glory, victory, there's also gore and lives lost, and regardless of it, if anybody messes with her or her friends, they'll always come out victorious, just like the winner of any war. You know what I mean? That's what I thought the song was about, and so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, would you agree if I were to say that this song seems to be not only her just again attacking the themes of violence, as you had said, and saying that maybe violence is not all positive as it seems to be put out in the world a lot today. Would you also agree if I said that Lorde is trying to attack the critics with her and her team? I guess you'd say team.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah. And there's somebody else who did that. Well, a lot of other people have done this too, but if you bring that to mind, Paul McCartney did that with Wings with the song Silly Love Songs. He was bringing a message to the critics because they had criticized Wings and him for only writing love songs, and his message to them was basically, what's wrong with that? And here's another one for you, and this will probably be a number 1 hit, so you can kiss my ass. So, and it was too, so.
Yeah,
I think that's, yeah. So this is her version of, or her attacking critics too, and good point, I forgot about that. And this is another example of her becoming a new voice for this generation.
All right, do you want to start us out with Still Sane? Oh, wait,
Certainly. I think, yes, I think Still Sane is about, her traveling back to her old town in her memory, in her mind, and, her questioning whether she will be, sane while on her rise to fame and throughout the whole journey, and stating her intentions. And I think she'll hold true to this, that, unlike the Miley Cyruses, the Amanda Bynes, the Britney Spears, and everybody else who's taken advantage of the fame and it's engulfed them, she intends to still be, the same person, resist any temptations, and still be the same person that her town knew growing up, and that we're all getting to know through her honest lyrics and things, so.
Man, today, man, you got me spot on today. I have lyrically, this song is very honest. She seems to be addressing her all work and no play teenage years, as well as her recent fame that obviously you said. During the chorus, we see her questioning how long she will still be sane and actually enjoy what she's doing, and actually enjoy being an artist, whether it be the fame, the touring, the hotels, the crowds. And during the second half of this, or during the third portion of that song, rather, there seems to be some doubt, and it seems to be a shot at today's executive-controlled music industry, in which artists are basically touring year-round here. Very, very honest song again, and I think this is something, like you said, she's just showing us who she is, and kind of, it's the whole everything. If I end up saying what you said, I'm gonna rehash everything, so I'll just leave it at that. Musically, what did you think of the song?
I thought it was real good. I think it reflects, like every other song, reflects the mood that she intends to personify and the mood that she intends to convey. And production team did a really good job, and it's another example of her documenting the mood and experiences and emotions that she's feeling in her teen years, because, like I said before, this is a very important period in anybody's life, and particularly hers, because she wants to document that head on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I have that the song is a very slower paced, airy instrumentation again that I really enjoyed. Placed over some slightly, again, restrained yet smoky vocals. They remind me a lot of Adele. Would you agree with that Adele reference?
Yeah, I could definitely see Adele, because Adele, I could see Adele. Adele addresses these things too, and in a dark kind of spacey kind of way, like this one, Lorde. And I could definitely see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't actually think that at first, the Adele reference, but then I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, slightly. And I think it's done in a good way there.
Yeah, it is. It's like I think she is documenting every mood and trying to be as honest as possible with the things that she's feeling. So.
Yeah. All right, you wanna start us out with track number 9, White Teeth Teens?
White Teeth Teens, yes, I will. That song, White Teeth Teens, kind of addresses to me the fakeness of Hollywood and the glamour, and the fact that you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be Barbie doll sized. You don't need to have the greatest makeup. You don't need to have the greatest accessories. You don't need to have all these jewels, just like she's addressed before. You don't need to have any of that. You just need to be yourself. And anybody who doesn't like it can go away. And and she's again introducing a new style which she intends to bring to the table of music, and white teens are out, basically, and because they're all fake.
Yeah. I have that same exact thing, so I don't want to repeat myself necessarily. But would you agree during the second half of the song, she seems to say that she's not comfortable and doesn't agree with the assessment that she is one of these white teens?
I would definitely say that, and that's another reason why I think she's wrote the song, is to say that, wait a minute, stop right where you're at, because not who I am, and I intend to prove that. And I think she is proving that with the honesty and with the image she's intending to present. And we'll see this work out more as she progresses as an artist in person and gets older in age.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right. What I have as far as musically for this song, again, it's a very slow-paced introduction, with some very interesting choir maybe inspired backgrounds, that seem to gradually flow into the upbeat, energetic chorus. What else do I have here? Again, the lyrics are kind of surrounded by bright and cheerful chords of the instrumentation, of the electronica pop instrumentation, which I really enjoyed there. As like you said, you hit it right in the head again with the meaning. She's basically calling out the kids who want to redefine the media definition of perfection, I think, as well.
Yep, and I think a lot of artists, new and old, will follow suit, and they'll for the old ones, like the Miley Cyruses, maybe she'll try and be more honest, just like Lorde is, and although maybe she already is kind of honest, but she's kind of being controlled by executives, I think, and she'll maybe adapt the message that Lorde is trying to present, to just be yourself.
Yeah. We'll say for the sake of pop music, I hope she does. I hope things get changed a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing. I think Lorde intends to bring things to the table to change people's attitudes about musical stars and Hollywood, and I think with every artist they've changed their scope of music. Lady Gaga's changed music. Go down the line, the Beatles have changed music, obviously, and every generation has their person who changes music and people who change music, and Lorde will be one of them for this generation.
I agree. All right, finally, with track number 10 here, we have here A World Alone. I'll start this out, I guess. This track kind of finishes off the album on a high note. This song is very different from the rest of the album. It has a very just a slow acoustic guitar and vocal pairing that seems to gradually flow into the main chorus, and accompanied by some different instrumentation with bells and whistles, and halfway through the chorus, I think the instrumentation turns into chatter of people talking that seems to get louder as the song continues. As the song draws to a close and just ends abruptly, Lorde proclaims, "Let them talk," which I think sparks the meaning for the song, which I think where Lorde is talking about that she's sick of hearing people complain, whether it be about their everyday problems, such as maybe work, as she kind of references her friends there. As the song kind of comes to a close with the lyrics, we see Lorde commenting on a lot of hot button issues that we see today, such as backstabbing of friends, the widespread bullying epidemic, and that's all referenced within maybe one or two lines here. The line that I can think of is all the double-edged people and schemes. People are talking, and you can kind of elaborate more on this, but I think she's just trying to tell people that to not she's trying to tell, her fans, I guess, to not let what other people say bother them.
Yeah, I definitely agree. She not only is saying she's tired of people, talking about bullshit, and I hear this on the train all the time. People always tell me that, and I always hear people talking about that they're sick and tired of people, talking about their problems. They don't want to hear it, and go see a damn psychologist if you got problems. But another thing she addresses, I think, is the bullying epidemic and the fact that people are always going to talk, people are always going to be two-faced and double-edged. And, just you can't stop them talking. You can only control your image in the way that you present yourself. And anybody who tries to bully you is just insecure and, you're better than them. And, just let people talk because all they do is gossip and it's all a bunch of bullshit anyway, so just let them talk. And another like a TV show that does this pretty well is, I would say, Glee, because Glee is very careful about the way that they address, teenage issues like bullying and school shootings. They've addressed everything under the sun. And even the death of a classmate, they've addressed everything that a teenager goes through and, puberty and sex and everything. That you should watch this show, and everybody else who does and doesn't should, and anybody who does would agree, because they agree. They're very careful. Ryan Murphy is very careful about the way that he presents his show, and it just reminded me of this because, she's very careful in her craft, Lorde, in the way that she wants this album to be remembered and presented to the fans and the public. So, I
definitely see that because everyone has had their issues with bullying, and I think the bottom line for the song, like you had said, and it maybe kind of a rehash, but don't let what other people say bother you, because otherwise you're gonna be miserable.
Yep.
And that's just the bottom line. And I think it's not only a good lesson for the song, but a good lesson for everyone in the world, no matter how old you are, to just listen to that.
Yeah, and this album, the title, not only does it end well, but the title is very fitting too, because Lorde presents herself as an honest person and very pure. She's a pure heroine. And, I don't know how to say that word, but she's very pure. Yeah. And, what you see is what you get, like I said before, and take it or leave it. And if you don't like it, go away. And, she's a new voice for this generation, I think, and I'll be proven right, I think. So.
All right. Overall, what would you say are your favorite tracks?
My favorite tracks are, let's see, I like A World Alone, I like Royals, I like Team, obviously, those are the given ones.
Yeah.
I like Glory and Gore, that's another one. I like, the whole album fits together like a fucking glove. It's amazing, it's pretty good. And, it's a lot of flow, and, it goes together like peas and carrots, in the words of Mr. Gump. Forrest. No, but I think this is a good album. It's like the title says, she is very pure, she's very honest, and overall, I would say, the honesty is the best policy, and the honesty sells. And, honesty is the best part because it's relatable, and this whole generation can relate to music that they're thinking about, or that deals with subjects that they're thinking about. And Lorde is a very important voice for this generation, like I said before, and I'm sticking to it. And like I said before, Glee is a good show to watch, and Lorde is a good artist to listen to because they're addressing kind of the same lyrics, or same subjects, because Glee has addressed everything that kids deal with in high school and getting out of high school, and Lorde is doing that same thing, and they're both very careful about how they address their topics.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Definitely. Although I have not seen much Glee, but what I have seen, I definitely can agree with that. All right, for me, I had you went to very specific kind of route. I went the more general. I had the production and the lyrics definitely as a huge part of this. That's kind of the obvious, but I have for some interesting reasons, I think. I really like the production because it's just stripped down, very detailed, with some very deep lines, some deep bass lines rather, some very energetic loops, excuse me. The synth beats that are used are very interesting as well. Create the flow that we've been talking about, which seemed to showcase Lorde's vocals. I think are done in a nice way. In ways that are different depending on the mood and lyrical content of the songs. The first half of the album is more heavier, more mysterious, more shadowy, more spacey, if you will. Similar to something maybe off the XX, off one of their albums. Except that the meanings are very negative. For me, the production then, the second half of the album, the instrumentation seems to be muted over to showcase Lorde's vocals again further. There's the spacey instrumentation again. A lot of interesting bells and whistles and horns. That I think, would you agree that was a major part of what made the second half of the album so great?
I would say yes. I would say, the production, I would agree with you that the production is extremely important because that is what conveys the mood and the emotion given in each song that Lorde writes about and her team writes about. Because the production side gives the music that, like I said, conveys the dark emotion or the dancey type and the happy songs and everything that is reflective of the moods that Lorde feels, that grasps the starts each song as they start, so that's what I would agree with you on that the production is extremely important, but like I say, the honesty too, they all mix together like a good pumpkin pie.
And part of that mixture, and you'll lead me right into my lyrical spiel here. Lyrically, Lorde uses some very smart, insightfully descriptive lyrics that are often edgy to describe her opinion. She, on a lot of the tracks talking about living in a world full of success, as we've seen in Royals. The issue of bullying, which we touched on a lot in the second half of this review, and just feeling alone in the world, as we kind of talked about as well. To me, there's two sides to this. The first half of the album, Lorde seems to showcase her writing ability, but also her ability to step out of the box as an artist, create music that'll make the listener think, not just some of this pop music that's just there, and like, oh, it's about a relationship again. Oh, that's nice, She's going to make listeners think while creating radio hits that I think has not been seen in music for a long time, maybe since Britney Spears back in the day. The second half of the album for me, lyrically, and I think we can both agree on this, she seems to be she wants to be a normal teenager. She talks a lot about being painfully honest, as you've touched on a lot of what you'd like, and she talks about growing up, her fears of growing up in today's society, the team, kind of sticking together. All these themes seem to be placed around the central idea of her adjusting her life towards her recent mainstream success. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. You know, like I say, her honesty is what makes her unique, because not a lot of people are honest, because they all give in to, not all, but most people give in to the standard that record executives want. And Lorde is just saying to the wayside with all that, and I'm going to, you know, do my own thing and march to the beat of my own drum.
That's right. All right, well, I think that's it for what I have. I also did like her vocals. They're full of personality as well. I did want to mention that. Some good backing vocals as well. Especially live, she seems to have a lot of emotion with her. I also do want to say the critics, and I'm not really critics, but the comparisons to Lana Del Rey, I don't see that either. I see it more in the production of the album as well. That's it for me for this review. I think, Bobby, is this it? Do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, it's good. Like you said, speaking on the live thing, I don't know if you know this, but she made her live talk show debut on Jimmy Fallon. So.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where she got her start on TV. Not really her start, but start on TV. So yeah, just thought I'd throw that in there just for giggles.
Hey, you know. Okay, so did you watch that performance? What did you think of it?
I think she's very good at you know, engaging the audience and getting them in the mood of the particular song. She did Royals on Jimmy, and she did the snaps, and, you know, got them all involved, and she controls the crowd very well, and she's learning, and that's good. That's a major part of performing, is making sure that your audience is engaged, and not only that they get their money's worth when they come to see you, but they like you, first of all, when they come to see you, but you want to make sure that they have a good time. She was making sure that they did that, so that's good.
Yeah, sure. I think as she grows up, we'll definitely see this put into a higher level as well.
Yep, I would agree.
Alright guys, well I think that's it for this review. Yeah. Please subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to Bobby's channel, Rkmloveshp. He puts out great reviews. He's starting to do more of those. You want videos with your niece? Stuff like that.
Oh yes, yes. Me and Sleigh do a lot of videos. I film her childhood, and then I do some reviews of my own. I just did Plentywood the other day. He's released an album, and I talk about the that music I had on him. I've done Elvis Costello and the Roots. I've done Michelle and Muhammad Ali. I've done a bunch, and I'm going to plan on doing more. So look out for that, and look out for more videos of myself and Sleigh. So, yep, that's me, and keep watching, folks.
We'll be back hopefully next month or so with another review of Paul McCartney's New as well.
Sounds good to me. I'll be there for that.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Have a nice day, guys.
Peace and love, guys.